Welcome back to another vlog. It is current 10:30, almost 10:30 at night, and I still have a lot of energy, but I also realized that I really need to get back to it. I have my most recent manuscript, Lily in the Valley. As you can see, she's already been touched. And I'm gonna see how far I can get through making some edit notes for myself. I've already edited this novel a couple of times. I've also sent it off to my professional editor who's already done the developmental edit. Those are some of the sticky notes that you see. And there's also sticky notes from my two alpha readers who I'm gonna go ahead and call the Eminems. And I'm pretty sure they'll be able to figure out why. But this is the status of my next book, book 2, Lily in the Valley. If you read my first book, Loved by You, then you know that there are two people that a lot of readers really were very excited about because of the little teaser that I left at the end of Loved by You. This is their book and I'm so excited. This is definitely going to be a much more emotional, potentially heavier read than Loved by You, but I feel like this story is better than the first. But it doesn't matter if I'm excited about it, because if I never finish it, then none of you will be able to read it. So I'm going to do a couple of editing sprints tonight, and I am just gonna do like my manuscript with me, I guess. But yeah, love this story. So just to let you guys know the things that I use, of course I have me a nice little drink one for when I'm editing, and then I am currently using a green pen for this particular edit, and then I also have designated some pink sticky notes for me to leave extra notes and things like that. But so far, the part of the story that I'm reading, I would say it's pretty much good how it is. And I don't think there's too much extra that I have to add to it, but I know it's really like the last 2/5 of the project that I just think that there's more scenes that I need to add. But let's see how far we get tonight. And I'm just gonna let it play. It's gonna be a stupid huge trial. I actually decided that I'm gonna go get my headphones so that it's easier to edit this without worrying about any copyright music, but y'all are still gonna be able to get all of my live reactions and things like that as I'm working through my manuscript. So just give me 1 second. Just for clarification purposes, the first part of the novel, I think readers are gonna have a wonderful time with, and I did that purposely. Loved by You, it was very much a slow romance, but if you know the characters Kelly and Khalil, then you know that they are definitely by a smoke show altogether. I ended up stopping on what I would say is a spicy moment between the two, and I think that I actually like the spicier moments between these characters. It's easier to write these moments between these characters than it was whenever I wrote the spicy scenes between Vanessa and Xavier. They're cute. I think people are gonna give them like a 2.5. They're like a 2 for me on the spice level, but then there may be some people who feel like it's definitely giving 3. That's up to the reader. I just know that I really like the ones that I wrote, and I think I got a little more creative, I hope, with those. But I'm really enjoying this part of the novel, and I think that people are going to enjoy it. Without trying to give away too many spoilers, just know that I gave y'all a couple of spicy scenes in the beginning instead of making people wait all the way to the end. Okay? I just finished adding a part where I'm kind of like fixing the banter between my two characters. There's some parts where I feel like their playfulness with each other just doesn't hit like I want it to, especially because these are black characters. These are black young characters. So I want it to feel real. I want it to feel authentic. And when you're just trying to get the story out the first time, sometimes you lose a lot of word choice and banter things that you want to add because you're trying to get the story done. Because if you really waste the whole time you're writing the first draft on trying to perfect things like that, you're never gonna finish the story ever. It's also given me an opportunity to bring like more of their individual personalities out. It's so interesting. They're like current day mannerisms that I'm trying to reference because like to me Khalil he's like what you would say like kind of Creole complexion. If you're from Louisiana, then you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. So he's fairly light skinned. He doesn't have a tan because he's still black, like you know he's a black man, but he's light skinned and he has pretty eyes, curly hair, and I'm trying to write down just like mannerisms. And it's so interesting trying to explain the light skin pose that people make. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. Because I can't just put like he was making the light skin pose. I have to actually explain what that is. This is one of the things that I like about writing and why I like going back over a draft, because you just find little random things like that. I also had an idea, maybe I just have this main character change up the nicknames that he calls the girl, and like her real pet name be the one he used whenever he's like trying to be serious or be like really emotional, like that. Because I just feel like this main character would change up the pet names that he calls the main character, the female main character. Oh, this reminds me, I need to add more pictures because my male main character like is really good. Like he has a very, very, very good green thumb. But I actually don't have a lot of like green thumb plant dad-esque things on my mood board, and I need to, and I'm really mad because I just put out a video of like his aesthetic on TikTok and Instagram, and I don't have that in his. It's okay, I'll probably end up making another one the closer I get to releasing this book anyway, so it's fine. You remember how I said I already had like a couple of spicy scenes? For some reason, like I really went in this first act of the book, because why do I have another one? Or in fact, I think this one might be like a fade to black. Something I've been working on is like really setting the scene, really painting the picture for readers. So I just want a little bit of the setting where this scene is actually taking place. Excuse my voice, I don't know what's going on with me today, but listen, it's also late. So long after we'd excused ourselves from dinner, we slipped into the hot tub on the patio of our casita to bask in the desert night. The air was soft and still, the kind of still that almost dares you to disturb it. Above us, a single cloud moved across the sky, slow and aimless, and for a moment, the moonlight dimmed, just like enough to notice, enough to feel the hush settle deep in my bones. Stars blanketed the sky in clusters, secrets waiting to be spilled. It was a dry night, sage and stone weighed heavy in the whispering winds. The distant howl of a coyote rose, then fell like a prayer answered too late. Sandstone cliffs loomed in the distance, stark silhouettes against the star-swept sky. The water lapped softly against my skin, warm and silky. Khalil was across from me at first, his arms stretched out along the rim of the tub, head tilted back, eyes closed. The steam curled around him like smoke off a flame, seductive, wild, untouchable. I watched him through half-lidded eyes, the lavender glow from the salt lamp inside the casita casting a halo behind his head. He looked like a promise I wanted to believe in. I love it. There's some things on there that I still definitely do want to change, but I love it. I love it. I don't care if y'all don't like it. I love it. And that's all that matters to me. Thank you. That was a great end to that first part of the book. I do have 4 parts in this book as well, just like I did in Loved by You. The length is not as long as Loved by You. I don't think it will get the same length as Loved by You did, even with the extra stuff that I want to add. But I'm really happy. I'm stopping now. I know I didn't get quite to 2 hours, but I at least got an hour of editing done. But I'm stopping because this next part, I need to be like awake, because I know once I start, I'm not gonna stop, because there's gonna be so many things that I want to add. If I close this, I can actually show you. This is gonna be the part where I really start adding some things, because like I said, the closer I got to my deadline to have things turned into my editor, I still had like 50% of this book that I needed to write, and I was struggling because I had so many like writer's block moments, and then there were parts of this book that were just really hard to write. That's how I know that this is going to be more of an emotional read in my opinion, and perhaps even a heavier read in my opinion than Loved by You was. I know Loved by You had its moments, but this one, I don't know, it hits differently. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I got from my developmental editor is that the story is good, but there's parts where I just need to transition from like one thing to the next a little bit smoother for readers, so it doesn't feel too jarring. So I've been thinking about a couple of things that I wanted to add. In fact, I think I'm going to write them on these sticky notes here so that I can go ahead and put them close to the spots where I want to add them, because I know I want to go ahead and like write those things out once I move to making all of these edits on the computer. I really just like editing on paper. It's what makes sense for me, and it helps me like really focus on just reading the story. Otherwise, if I'm doing this on the computer, then I'll never finish reading the story, and I'll be editing the same 5 chapters for like 6 more months, and I don't have 6 more months to work on this book, because I do have to have all of these edits completed and sent to my editor by the end of July. I'm trying to use the rest of my break to just go ahead and knock it out as much as I possibly can. So I think tomorrow I'm going to do like another editing with me vlog, because this is like priority right now. The parts do have song, just like I did before. I want to show y'all the song for part 1. If you can see that, it is I Could Fall in Love by Selena. And then as a special YouTube sneak peek, this is the song for part 2 that I know I've been changed by LaShawn's Pace. So there's like a little sneak peek. Maybe once I get to part 3 and part 4, I'll show you guys some of the videos, but it's been real. My eczema is starting to flare up, which means I'm getting too hot, so it's time for me to go shut it down. And I'll see y'all in the